He's a good quarterback. I'm not going to say he's a bad quarterback. He's not an incompetent quarterback. He obviously regressed a little bit last year, especially in the second half. The number one seed, as we started talking about, playoff positioning, and they fell right off a cliff. And he's a big reason why. Interceptions, had a couple nagging injuries also, to be fair.
Trevor Lawrence, ladies and gentlemen, formerly of Clemson, now of the Jacksonville Jaguars, is the highest paid quarterback per year in the history of the NFL. 5-year, $275 million American dollars down in Florida with no state income tax.
Welcome on in, Jacksonville Jaguars fan base, Jacksonville Jaguars faithful. We have a beautiful episode for you guys today. I have 3 topics that I want to slide by you and see what you think. First one, we got to talk Big T Law's money, Trevor Lawrence's money. What does that mean for the future of the Jacksonville Jaguars? But what does that even mean more for Trevor Lawrence himself? We got to get into that. And then we also got to talk about this rookie corner that you guys picked up in the 3rd round. We got to talk about his impact. And we got to just talk about how he has had crazy buzz on his impact already in the mini camp. We got to talk about that. And then I'm gonna want to talk about Brian Thomas Jr. I love him so much. I really loved him coming out of the draft. We got to talk about him as well. And then lastly, I want to talk about, and this is going to sound weird, your owner, Shahid Khan. I need to talk about Shahid Khan, and you'll find out why I am talking about this man, and you're going to be very, very happy. First things first, it has happened. The time has come. Trevor Lawrence got that money. So what does it mean, though? I see the whole thing of, he's now paid just as much as Joe Burrow, right? So Joe Burrow was the highest paid quarterback. I don't really understand the whole thing. I understand it's just a bunch of billionaires and millionaires just changing the money up. I was pretty sure that Patty Mahomes was the guy, but I know Joe got his paycheck after him, so it's just ridiculous. I think Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in the league. This is a Bengals fan talking. He should be the highest paid, but I understand that's not how it works. But you currently have the highest paid quarterback in the National Football League. Do we understand what comes with that? Do we understand that this isn't just a congratulations, Trevor, you got your money, your family set for life, you can go and buy whatever it is you didn't have already? It also means you have about 4 to 5 years to get us a championship too. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. And we want to win consecutive playoff games. Correct me if I'm wrong. And there needs to be a better attempt at really securing the division, not just having an amazing 9 weeks and then just falling off and then having some kid out of Ohio State walk into the league and embarrass everybody. Actually, I'm going to bring in Shahid Khan now, and I want to talk about his greatness. And then I want to talk about CJ Stroud and the Texans, and not in a way that you might think. Shahid Khan, the reason why I think he's so brilliant is because he got ahead of not just Trevor Lawrence's contract. The simple fact that Trevor Lawrence does not have to play this year, he doesn't have to have it, really rimming in the back of his mind. He doesn't really have to have any type of confidence issues of is the organization going to extend me? Are they going to shop me a little bit? What's going to happen? He's like, nope. I understand how hard it is to get a quarterback in the National Football League. Nope. This is the best quarterback that the Jacksonville Jaguars ourselves, talent-wise, have, has probably had in the past 20, 30. I understand you've had some dogs at the quarterback position, but nothing to the likes of Mr. Trevor Lawrence himself. And I'm not trying to dig on anybody. I'm just saying he understands completely the track record of quarterbacks that he's had. So why get rid of Trevor? So if there's any Jacksonville Jaguars people out there that are saying, hey, he shouldn't have done it, he shouldn't have given the money, I would just say it that way. Number 1 is done. Number 2, Josh Allen getting paid. Okay? This is another key important ingredient to the organization, to the team's success. You have your leader on defense and your leader on offense financially taken care of to where now they just have to worry about football. That's it. That is such a power play. That's such a powerful move. And that's a move that owners don't really do. They don't really do. They want to stretch it out as long as possible. They kind of want to they don't want to hope for a bad season because it reflects on them, but I hope that the season is good enough prior to where it makes sense, or the injury is not as bad to where I can pay them less money and I can still keep the talent that I want in the building. The mental warfares that it goes from owner to agent to player. I'm sure the general manager gets some type of say in there. If you guys do not know, on a majority basis, head coaches have no idea what happens in that room, or if they do, they have no power. The coach's power is eradicated when it comes to contracts. So I just want to give a shout out to Shahid Khan because he said, all right, Trevor, you got your money. Give me a championship. It's a transaction. And that's what I want to bring to you, the people. What is Trevor's agenda now? What is the bottom floor? Are we happy with him being the highest paid quarterback in the National Football League, really in history, if he goes to an AFC championship once or twice in the next 5 years? If he just has consecutive seasons, the next 5 years stretch, playoffs, AFC championship, but it's playoffs, it's never a down year? Or does he have to get a Super Bowl? What if he gets an MVP and makes it only to the AFC championship? So a Lamar Jackson-esque, resume. What if that's the case? I just want to know from y'all. You currently, right? So the Jacksonville Jaguars currently have the highest paid quarterback in the National Football League. Money says he has to perform the best. I just want to know from all of you, what is your expectations on Trevor Lawrence? Not necessarily the team, even though I understand it all equates. It all has to be bundled up into one package. But Trevor Lawrence alone, I just want to know from all of you, what is the floor? What does he have to do for you to be happy? Now, I got to get into the whole CJ Stroud thing, just where my brain is at. How do you guys feel? And the only reason, once again, I'm only asking this because I've asked this to Colts fans, and I've asked this same question to Titans fans, but it didn't hit as much with the Titans fans. It hit really hard with the Colts fans. I wonder if it's going to hit with you. CJ Stroud, out there, all about, doing all those interviews. He's on TV. He's doing that Micah and CJ Stroud tour. Does that fire y'all up? Does that, piss y'all off that this rookie, this young player, comes into the league and just starts firing off, shooting from the hip? I genuinely believe, this is a genuine feeling, Trevor Lawrence has to sweep CJ Stroud. It just has to. Trevor Lawrence is the highest paid quarterback in the National Football League. But if you ask on a general basis, including all the casuals, I'm with y'all. I understand the answer is Trevor. I'm here. I would want to know if y'all think the answer is Trevor. But if you ask the general public, and if you ask most of Jacksonville Jaguars fan base, who is the best quarterback in the AFC South, I promise you, they're saying CJ Stroud, guys. There's going to be a lot of CJ Stroud answers in that bunch. And I hate that Trevor's getting this bust thing already, that he's wasted. I hate that. I really do. It's gross. It's expectations that you placed upon him, not necessarily he did. And so I just really want to know where you guys are at with CJ Stroud, Trevor Lawrence, that competition that's not being talked about today, but it's going to be at least for the next 5 years. And I just want to get ahead of it. I think that's good. I mean, y'all, you're the best quarterbacks in the division by far, bar none. And I like Anthony Richardson a lot. I just think that's the storyline. I just think that's going to be the bullet points. Jacksonville versus Texans. When those games are really pushed out to the general public, to the nation, if it's ever a primetime event, it's Trevor Lawrence versus CJ Stroud. And so I'm hyped for that. And then we got to talk about, like I said, a rookie that you guys picked in the third round, Mr. Jerrion Jones. He is being suited as this amazing potential, the top breakout out of everyone that you guys have on the team. This is a bigger nickel corner that you guys have, over 5 college seasons, his first with Mississippi State, before 4 with Florida State. Jones compiled 96 tackles with 5.5 4 loss, 1 sack, 5 interceptions with 1 pick six, 12 defended passes, and 1 forced fumble in 55 games. This kid is just around the ball. He understands the game very well. He has a cerebral presence to him. And if you didn't hear me, he's a big corner. So see that as an agile linebacker, a slimmer safety, right? So that is just going to bode absolutely well. And I think he scored in the 85th percentile at his position in the 40-yard dash, the vertical, and the broad jump. And he has just been jumping off the screen. He already has this relationship with Darnell Savage that you guys picked up in free agency. Things are looking good defensively, but we got to be way, way more consistent defensively. I think we all already know this, and we all agree to this. I just want to know, let me know in the comments where you guys are at with everything, with Trevor, with your ownership, with this rookie cornerback that we just discussed. And most of all, I got to know, Trevor Lawrence, CJ Stroud, where you guys at? Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe.